Testing, testing. Where are we at, folks? How's everyone doing? Oh, I did. I told myself this time, I was like, yeah, I'll have the, you know, go in live message, copy paste it in the places it needs to be, but I didn't. Yeah. Let's do that for just a minute, why don't we? See that? It's already copy and pasted, so. Or it's already in my clipboard. The default, I'm live on Twitch. Come hang out. Default's all we need. Self promo, self promo, self promotion. Yeah, but you know, hope any potential listeners are doing splendidly as we dive back into the grind. 性格が悪い。性格が悪い。 Oh, and then I forgot to reopen up my screen. Hopefully check my levels here real quick. 性格が悪い。 Man, the mobile Twitch stream manager is a little funky, I say, if I do say so myself. I'm an expert on these matters. Alright, that sounds fine, I think. I'm sure someone will let me know if it doesn't sound fine. Kekkai. Joy. It's not Joyaku. Keiyaku wa kawasu. Senpo. Easy enough, eh? I want to say Soneru. I don't know why. Sokoneru. That's why. That's a cornbread. I don't know. This word, I tried to I was gonna use it as a daily once, in my daily words little program I got, but I couldn't find many people using this. It apparently has 49 uses in the media on JPDB, but I don't know if it's common enough. Keep the upgrade. Hugh is assimilated. Oh, never mind. Oh. 段々を切る。単価。虚勢。数日。Why can I not read this? Tsugumu. We're gonna let that one sit for a second. Oh, I wasn't. I think I was here. I say Yoshida. 今どき web? 応募じゃないんだと思いながらよしに Mayor, I never know whether to read Mayor or Moku, to be honest. Mayor Hashirareru. Hashiraseru. Why is it so hard to read? Mayor Hashisareru. I'm gonna save it just because it's hard to read. Mayor Hashisareru. See, I did it again. Mayor Hashiraseru. It's embarrassingly difficult, I must say. Oh, and then my guy being stuck is also not helping. As always. Is it really... I can never decide what level the mic is. But I think now it's acting somewhat like it's supposed to. Who cares? I think my little guy looks cool whether his mouth is open or closed. So, it'll be stuck in one either way. It's gonna get delayed and be a big problem at any moment. We can go back. Tsugumu.
Tsugumu.
Tsugumu. Tsugumu. Dosa dosa. Tana no ue ni shorui ga tano. Tsumi agare.
Dosa dosa.
It's hard, man.
恋愛。
Renai.
恋愛したこと
I always struggle with this one too, even though I see it in several words, but you know how it is. I'm sure you know. How could you not know?
煩わしい。
This one, I even made like a little mnemonic, but like there's another word that I keep mixing up with, but wazira washi, like what's wrong, and it should be easy enough to remember. Bonno as well as common. I did not realize you could read urusai with it. We'll mark it. You know what? We'll mark it as a problem word. A mondai, if you will. Wazurarashi. It is a problem. That's what's wrong. That's what's troublesome. This word is troublesome.
煩わしい。
Kiyasui? Yeah. You know me. Mini Menace. How are you doing? Would you believe it if you're the first person who has ever chatted in here?
来やすい。
Come learn you some Japanese. Cares. Let me ask you too. I don't remember if I've talked about this in your chat yet, where I added Gecko VT to my name because I feel like I wanted something more readable, a little more brandable. Because Kerzokla, just no one. I feel like no one knows how to even read or sound that out. Maybe people see it and they're like, nah, just click off. I can't even be bothered. It could be the most fire stream, but
有料。
Yurio
有料。
listening to. I am listening to. I listen to everything. I listen to the sounds of the world. People call me Mini Mac. See, that kind of has aura to it, don't you think? I think you're okay either way. Yeah. Well, I did the name change. I think Twitch does the thing where you can like take these backsies on it or something. It's like you have 90 days or either way. I think they say just Kerzokla by itself will be back. Aura? You don't like me? You don't like Mini Mac? It's kind of like Little Mac. He's a kick-ass boxer. He can take down the best of the best in Smash Bros. I don't know if he's actually, like low tier though.
テレビの普及によって我々の読書の時間が
Diffusion.
奪われている。
But yeah, this is, I was not kidding about what I do. I have this tab open. I have a Reddit tab open. I have my little book here that I'm, embarrassingly struggling through. And then, I've heard of Mini Mama, another nickname, but Mini Mac is not it. Mini Mac.
改良。
That's a great way to guarantee, remembering the name Mini Mac. I'm also curious too, if you clicked as you got the notification for Twitch, or if you saw the schedule or anything like that. But yeah, the zero view talking to yourself is pretty brutal. It's hard to do. I quickly found out, and trying to I try every time I try to. You sent it to my server, and I got the Twitch notification. Oh, I did send it in the server. Yeah, I was also I was on a different server where there's a bot that's supposed to do it, but it wasn't doing it. And the last 2 times I've I had to go and manually paste it. And this time I was like, oh, I'm gonna have it ready, and I totally forgot to do it. So the first minute or two of stream, I was like just copying, pasting it. But yeah, like, and then not only just talking, but I try, and every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bump up the energy. I need to put on the voice that I would like to hear, and then I go back and listen. I'm like, man, I sounded dead, or like, I hate dead air or the concept of dead air, and then I try and keep talking, or like to me, the first one I was trying to ramble on about absolute nonsense, but then on this one, or on the second one, I was just pure doing the cards and reading them back, and I feel like that was, it was like there wasn't a lot of dead air in the sense of just silence, but it was just like literally just like me going, this card, this means this sounds like this, let me put it in this list, let me go back to Anki, let me grind this, and then, this shit ain't easy. Yeah, it is not easy, or it's a skill to be developed for sure. Like, I think, once you're really, I mean, obviously, once you're a big streamer, if you're making, like, the insane money, then that kind of wipes all of the worries away. And there are there are a lot of people who just sit there, they're just, like, playing League, and just, like, they've got music playing, and then they're, like, just no talking, and then eventually they're like, oh, thanks for the, the gifted subs, and you're like, that seems easy enough. Or, like, the thing is too, as I spent, there's so many different realms of it where I spent so many hours playing around with my whole like layout, and just doing all these little, well, I paid $3 for this transition. Check out this transition. For the leaves. Yeah, but like learning how to use OBS and stuff and all the scenes, but then see, I even lost my train of thought. But then, yeah, I was looking at a Queso stream. I don't know if you ever watched Queso. I like that. I appreciate the cute, by the way. I was hoping it was, but that he's obviously he's one of the biggest streamers, and he has one of the simplest setups ever. It's just a face cam and like a screen capture, and the chat logs, and he just like. Then he just plays his mainline games, and he had like the layout is so not part of it. Like and there are people doing all sorts of transitions and set up assets and create, especially a lot of VTubers and stuff as well. But then he's putting it all into the persona and just the voice and the energy and just yelling. Which is certainly there's a talent to it for sure, but I have pretensions of being able to bring it to like, I'd love to be able to ramble on about things that actually affect some emotions or wisdom or banter about life that could mean something. Taiko Ishiki. So I'm putting it all in. I'm trying to do it a lot. The thing about the trucking is that it's like, if I'm not usually driving super late. Like, obviously, a lot of times it could cut into my, don't mind my announcement. What did you announce? Now I have to check. I'm gonna check on my phone, too. If you know me, I support the people who cares. I appreciate that so much, actually. I really do. Because it's tough being out here by talking to yourself. And then every time I go back on my phone, I have to reopen Stream Manager if I want to check the audio and the chat and stuff. Because this laptop, I'm telling you, this laptop cannot handle a whole lot. I had to close a lot of stuff, otherwise it will freeze or crash. Which it's been doing by itself. It hasn't happened during a stream. I understand, and you're doing great. See, that's huge. I'm still going. I was about to say you should check the two VODs, but then there's part of me that wants to say no one should do that, even though I uploaded them, or like to my YouTube, or just exported them. I'm saving that for the one day if I'm ever a thing. People can go, because there's this chess player, Eric Rosen, who I look up to in many ways as well. And if you go back and watch his original VOD, he literally had 0 viewers. Or I think he had like one guy pop in and then leave, but he was so much like his current persona. So I know that this is awesome. I'm so proud of. Who are you proud of? It couldn't be me. No, of course. I appreciate that. But he on his first stream, he was just like, oh, there might be one person in chat, but I think they may be left. But for anyone who's watching this, the approach in this opening is you're supposed to, once you push these pawns, you get this like blockade in the center, and then he goes on. It's so much like his current persona. Like there was almost no development, which is so. It was fascinating to see, and I would love to be that, but upon reflection of the first 2 streams, I'm realizing like every time I'm gonna have to push myself more into, being like high energy and being able to develop the skills. You nerd. What's that guy's name? Pull up to this window. You're the only motherfucker coming into my drive-thru. It was like shot that. Or you can be like me and just be like, you get what you get. Nah. Well, what I want for people to get is something a little bit different than what I'm delivering, which is something I have to develop. Atataka.
Atataka.
This is a fun word. Atataka.
Atataka.
Atataka. There was also the thing too, is that beyond just talking or being entertaining, like this is I've been grinding these for like, or just like Japanese in general for Nikannen gurai, like 2.5 years maybe, and but I do practically no speaking. I watch stupid hours of HoloLive and hit the flashcards and I listen and do a little bit of like reading, but forcing myself to try and read these out and realizing how I sound, but also how my memory of them is not what my brain tricks itself into thinking it is. Like I'm like, oh, it says this, and then I hit the card and it's not. But if I'm reading, oh my gosh, I appreciate that 2 whole entire viewers. Well, actually, it says 4. There's a lurker too. I love lurkers too, or the concept of having them. This is great. Golly, where was I? But yeah, you hit the card, right? And then it says this, but even if I didn't know it, as soon as it sees it, it's like my brain does that time thing where, it's in the realm where it's like you look at a clock, but the second hand doesn't move. It's like you looked at it when it just moved, and you could swear it took like 3 seconds to move, but, almost in reverse, where you see this, and you're like, oh, no, I totally read that right, and then you just hit like okay or easy. Even though you totally didn't, because then I can go to the next one and not know how to read it. Like this one, it's so easy, but it misses me up, because it's just like Ashihaya, but I want to read it like Hayashi, like backwards.
Ashibaya.
Or like forget to put the Doc 10 in there, Ashibaya. But you look at a what? If anything I'm saying not makes sense too, let me know, because I realize this is gonna be niche. I would gladly welcome anyone into the world of grinding this vocab. Sontaku. Yeah, I was showing my stepmom once how I was going through these, and she's like, no, wait, what are you doing? And I just kept doing it, and I have this, the problem where I don't consider exactly how someone is like perceiving what I'm talking about. I just keep going, and I'm like, no, I just hit, and then I hit this button, and I look, and I hit this button. Man, it's 4 a.m. My brain is fried. I got home an hour ago. Well, you should probably sleep. I appreciate that you're here. The greatest would be that if you could sleep with my stream on and pump up the numbers. Yeah, this is Japanese. And these are just flashcards for words. I do all it on here. A lot of people do their flashcards on an app like Anki, like this one right here. But there's a website that does basically the same thing that I like to look at. The cool thing about this website is you can go to the decks, and then you can get your vocab from like manga or certain animes and shows. So, taking a little tour here. If we look and learn, I never read these two textbooks, the Genki books. No, I got things to do, I don't sleep. But, then I pulled all the vocab from Bocchi the Rock, and I've gone through all that vocab. Which, again, I've never fully read, but, a YouTuber I really like, my sensei, does, reading streams, and she's read all of Bocchi the Rock, like, just word for word from a native perspective on stream, so I went through all the vocab here to help, you know, kind of prep for those streams. And then this one I also have not read, but I bought the audiobook for, and the idea is what you're supposed to do is you get all the vocab from a particular work, and then like you can kind of grind out the ones you don't know already, and then it helps you get into the book. So once you read the book, you're like, oh, I've seen all that vocab, as opposed to kind of doing the backwards of that, like what I'm doing with this book here, which is go through it, and every new word I don't encounter, which I'm sure I'll find one mighty quick if I just look at where I was. So say, like that. Amazing. And then I can like mine that, throw that into my Anki, so then if I go back here, it'll show up. Which is mighty convenient. But I do it mostly on here. Still here just doing something? No, yeah, and I know how it is too. It would make me such a, I've always thought about my behavior as a chatter where it's like I'll pop in a stream. Sometimes I'll announce lurk, sometimes I won't, but yeah, chatters just disappear. It's just how it works. You just kind of start doing stuff and you're like, like, obviously I'm not obligated to stick around, but then you feel bad, especially on small streams where, I can't even say where a word start. That's one of the, figuring out where things start and end is a struggle in Japanese, obviously, because of, you know, the lack of spacing and punctuation. Oh man, I could start going into teaching mode. That's something a lot of beginners tend, or like intermediates even tend to do. It's just like they start talking about every detail to people who frankly don't care, but you know, they're there. But yeah, like you just, as a chatter, you're there, and there's small streamers too, especially some of the Japanese teachers are like, they're small, and they hit a point where they're asking a question. Like I hear them ask a question, they're like, Mina-san, kono tango, do you imi? Do you know? And I'm like I was already trying to lurk, but then there's nobody answering, and then they just kind of have to talk to themselves about you know, the question they wanted to ask, and I'm like, oh, that's brutal. But you know, you literally are only one human being. You can't be chatting 24/7. But like I was saying, if that's the beauty of lurking. If you pump up the numbers, then that's huge. You ever I wonder if anyone here ever study any language? Because I'd never done it, and I was 25 when I cut off my fingernail at work, had to spend a week, it might have been 1 week or two. Not the many people who are Japanese, but I was always impressed to see people with such passion for what this country has to offer that they're willing to learn Japanese. Yeah, it is fascinating. I'm planning a trip in 2027, I think it is, to go to Kyushu, and that's about one of the only things I can really look forward to, you know, short to long term in my life. French, so I learned English and a tiny bit of German. Yeah, like, I was 25, cut off my fingernail at work, had to spend a week or two off for that to heal before I could go back into work, and then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to download some Spanish conjugations into Anki, and then just like got this little app for like dual subtitle viewing, and then I just like watched cartoons and shit for hours for the whole week, and then started studying Spanish. After spending my whole life as a monolingual beta, as they call it, and it's pretty fulfilling, even though I have made not, you know, notable to me progress in either, even though like being able to comprehend all this to me is huge because it is like an insurmountable wall of just like symbols when you don't know what's going on. Uh, but to that and for the Spanish, being able to go to my coworkers and actually say or like say like shit like the like I need potatoes. I need 2 trays of potatoes in the oven. Uh, whereas before it was just like, I would speak English, they would speak Spanish, and we'd go kind of on vibes. But it is very fulfilling, and I think it's something I would like to spread. I've thought about being like a linguist or a teacher or something, only because uh,
お子さん、
for see, this is the struggle. I'm trying to like read the word and then keep talking. I would love to be able to do it. That's what I'm trying to develop. Togisimas.
研ぎ澄ます。
But definitely, there's a lot of people who I think would like to learn the language for if just for fun or anything. But they're we're like, oh, as adults, I don't have the time or whatever, and it takes this and it takes that. But you can do it relatively passively, just if you just like grind a couple cards a day. I'm doing a lot, but you can keep it up. And I'm busy. I work, depending on the weeks, up to 70 hours a week, roughly 60 to 70, and I'm getting it done.
家具屋、
I'm kind of no life though, because trucking as a truck driver, it's already no life kind of inherently, and then outside of that, I kind of just boot this up. And before I would just have like Hololive on, which is what
修正、
inspired me to start
君の旧
Japanese
姓を
after
当て
doing
の人と
Spanish.
理解。
I was doing Spanish, and then I discovered what VTubers are, and I was like, what, I'm gonna pick up Japanese, and then now I've been doing this a lot longer than I was doing Spanish at first, so I kind of maintain the Spanish a little bit because my system, I guess my laptop is technically Japanese. Yeah, my laptop's Japanese, but I forget because my phone's in Spanish. It's not only a question of time; it's a question of will, and in 90% of the cases, the lack. Yes, exactly. The lack of. It's hard to develop habits for a lot of things. People, you can't. Most people don't really eat right. Most people don't exercise right. Most people don't sleep right. And trust me, that would make me a hypocrite for me to not say that I am lacking in all of those things. I just now got a dentist with my insurance, and I'm being able to brush properly is a habit I still need to form. But just luckily for me, I think I have a sort of addiction to the flashcards, and just like so it's working out for this habit. But it's definitely appearing to be that like if I were to ever be a teacher or have to like write a thesis on like why it works for a lot of people, it's literally just doing it every day. And I think for most people it's because you need a damn good reason, which is like for many people like a spouse that speaks another language, or like a job that you are going to keep, like your career requires you to move somewhere to, like, if you really need it. But for most people, they're like, oh, I'm into anime or I'm into VTubers. That's not a damn good reason. It's just what feels good for you. Don't ever feel bad for that. No, yeah, I definitely wouldn't. This is what I'm going deep on, so I hope to make this my thing right now, for sure. But yeah, for most people, they don't have a damn good reason to learn Japanese, because you're like, oh, I'm into anime. That's not enough. That's not enough to develop the habit in most people's brains. It's appearing because there's a lot of starters and quitters, which is totally fine. No one's obligated to learn anything really.
救いの手、
But it's just it's what I'm observing about the process, because yeah, there have been times where I have seen good progress. All the good luck in the world for you to go on that path. I appreciate that a lot. To hear that, for sure. But there are times where, yeah, I feel, just even by myself, I feel embarrassed at my perceived lack of progress. But you just keep doing it. You press on the flashcards. You're like, yeah, I don't even know at this point if I should be evaluating that card with a certain strength that I am, or if I'm really learning. But I'm just gonna keep doing it. So I have to learn eventually if I just keep doing it. So, press onwards, and then this streaming is proving a new way for me to hold myself accountable on certain things, like my ability to actually speak it, or read a card, or just speak to anybody about my Japanese. Because before I definitely can kind of hole up about a lot of my interests, or it's like I'll unleash it on my friends in a way where I'm trying to put everything that I've been interfacing with for like 2.5 years on them all at once, and then it just doesn't make any sense at that point, which is what's happening right now to you or to any viewers. You're just kind of like, it's definitely a ramble. There's no such thing as lack of progress, just speeds at which you progress, and the best part is that progress is not a race. Exactly. It is not a race. It's a marathon with yourself. But yeah, and you're right about the subconscious part too, where it's like I feel like there's no progress, but then you feel like a huge bump, and you're like, well, I must have been making some progress, because, it just wouldn't make sense that I wasn't learning the whole time. I'm always taking in something. But then there's some days where I barely do any cards or any reading or anything that active, but then I'm just like, watching VTubers or something, like not dual subtitled or anything, just with like my native subtitles, which is like what I usually consider to be close to worthless, but still, it's probably helpful that I got to a level where even if I don't have any subtitles in Japanese or anything, I can pick up enough of the basic stuff to pick out words that I don't know, or structures. So, and it's just, the more important thing is that it's the stuff I want to watch anyway. So that's the most important, because like this, I'm a little ways into this book, and I'm gonna finish it, but like the first little chapter, I'm not exactly picking up what they're putting down. Like I slowly went through and comprehended everything that went on, but I don't know why I'm supposed to like like it or care. So this is not exactly on the level of something that I'm like super inspired to go back to, as opposed to just like watching fucking VTubers, be anime girls on screen. So if that's what I want to do, I'm gonna keep doing it, which I think is kind of the trick, because there's so much content that's supposed to be educational that I kind of hate too, where they speak slowly, not conversationally. It's a little bit unnatural, or like it's the comprehensible channels who don't do the subtitles or whatever, and I'm like, I guess this could be educational, but it's not going to hold my interest, so I'm not going to bother. Praise, do what you want to do and nothing more. Exactly, fam. And I'm here now, because this is what I want to do. And hopefully be able to talk to a few people. And then I would like to be able to, quit trucking and have a streaming audience that pays the bills. That would be huge. Probably won't happen. I would call it a pipe dream, but I'm gonna put everything into it and see if it can even come close to happening. Because earlier I would kind of laughed at the concept of streaming, because I always had this idea of nobility in work, or like doing something that's actually important beyond providing entertainment or whatever. But then I worked a couple more years and I was like, yeah, I'm tired. I'll take a big bag of money if someone gave it to me. Shamelessly. Maybe not shamelessly, but, I would. And then the role of entertainment is interesting, because it can seem so useless to a lot of people, but then there's so many streamers, like even Mini being one of them, where you kind of, it's like you're like, it's like you get that feel, you want to tell them, you're like, if you weren't there that one really shitty day I had where I needed some equilibrium and I turned the stream on and I was able to like lurk or whatever, it's like, it's like you were a major vibe preserver. So the role of streamers is interesting, or maybe slightly more than I would otherwise give it credit for. Like there's in the realm of occupations I might look down upon, like CEOs and stuff, people who just like were born into money. And it's easy to be jealous of streamers too, who have like all the money. Of course, it depends just how you do it. If you're still out of touch, or in touch, or out of touch, or whatever. Actually, I want to write that one down. Tomoru. Putting all of my eggs in different baskets. I don't get the appeal personally. I have a big part of my life in the streaming internet creation corner of the internet. I can never be a streamer. It's too much pressure and too much time to invest for me. Yeah, well, it's definitely, I think the way I'm perceiving it now, it's definitely hard to try and get into the skills required. But it seems to me that once you develop the skills, it becomes more of a freebie later on. You can just yammer on to an audience for hours on end. So developing it definitely seems to be a development, which is what I'm doing now. I'm definitely gonna, I'm running. I was talking to Minnie about it earlier, like running back the VODs and being like, okay, I didn't like how I sounded here and here and here, and pump it up and, do little mental things to try and develop a persona, I guess, in some ways. The mask is who you really become, the old Japanese thing. I wonder if that's an internet meme. I wonder if that's, like, real. Or if it's just something that someone made up. Because that's the kind of thing I love, where you find out, like, that something was not a real cultural thing. You ever see this? Japanese three masks, three faces theory. You'd think this is something I would have looked up in my studies at one point. Yeah, this used to get posted everywhere on the internet. The first face you show to the world, the second face you show to your close friends and your family, the third face you never show anyone, it's the truest reflection. Oh no, this is different. I respect the grind. I appreciate that. But this is different. I was thinking that more like, the way I see people in life is like, it's like you put on the persona, and then the persona is what you become. And then it kind of flip-flops, like a T flip-flop if you're into electronics, or like it's part of why I find like VTubers and PNG tubers and streamers interesting, is because people show you a lot within their avatars, but the avatar is like, it has like the guise of being a mask, or like it's not showing yourself. But I think people show a lot of themselves in the things that they think are not showing themselves, You like Batman. Don't we all? Yeah, and the thing about, one of the things that fascinates me, or it's like, because, well, here's the funny thing, I hate anime, and especially, and the Japanese spoken in anime, or just like really, not even the Japanese inherently, but the way they talk. I don't like their mannerisms or affectations, but with VTubers, when you watch them, you see, even like English VTubers, they tend to have more natural cadences in their voice and whatnot. But Japanese people, the VTubers, they tend to stick more to like the whole anime persona, and like especially on debut, they start more with the voice. But you see their real affectations seep through the persona. Me neither, LMAO. I must have watched like 4 anime. Yeah, I finished 2. I finished Ping Pong the Animation, which I actually liked, and then I finished Evangelion, which I was disappointed by, for sure, especially relative to the hype. But I kind of knew what I was getting into as far as me not liking anime. But seeing the way, especially over the years, as Japanese VTubers like tone down their voice, or let more of themselves seep through, but still have to interact with like the stream persona. Evangelion is poop. Is that one of the ones you've seen? I don't know if I'd call it like poop, but it definitely was not all. It had things that made me think like, oh yeah, this is like a more slow, more mature, like more paced or measured piece of art. But like all at the end of it, I was just like, yeah, that as a cohesive product, I just felt like it didn't hit for me, It's overrated and pass to the teenager watching it, one of the worst message ever. What did it even say? I guess a lot of animes are like, stop being a loser, or essentially, or like stop, musics and designs are fire. My thing with Evangelion is it peaked. I don't know if it really, I have 5 viewers. I don't know if I pull up the anime on YouTube if I'll get like striked or anything, or like if it can come back to bite me in the future. But the one where he goes full ape mode and like loses his shit in the Eva and starts eating the angel, that scene was awesome. I was waiting for everything, and it peaked right there, and I was like, oh my god, this is about to be the best anime ever. I can see why this is like so big. And then like the episode ends right there with him going like full monk. But you're too much of a loser to stop being human, so we stop being losers. Yeah, I get that whole kind of what he's going there with that, but exactly, I just I don't know if the message is the worst inherently, but it is one of those things where you see the way anime affects society, and you're like, something is wrong in the way anime conveys, like the way children and teens relate to it. Clearly is having a negative effect on society, so maybe it is. But after that episode where he just goes full monkey, I was just like waiting for like the best anime ever, and then it's like it totally shits itself right after that. It doesn't really go back to that in any way that's satisfying. And then, you know, I finished all the episodes, and then I watched the end of Evangelion, and then I don't think I watched any of the rebuilds or whatever, but I was like, yeah, that was a little disappointing, you know. JoJo's Gurren Lagann, My Hero Academia, and only movie in the list I loved, Paprika. If it comes to the movies, there's a couple more movies I've seen that I enjoyed. What was the one? Maybe it was Masaki Yuasa. Maybe not. No, that was Ping Pong, I think he made, though. It's like Summer Wars. I like the person's style who made Summer Wars. I forget their name. Even I didn't like that movie Belle. I thought Belle was kind of lame, but I like this person's style. And then I think I've seen Wolf Children with You, but I don't remember too much about it, which means I might have thought it was just kind of a little like mid or a little bit boring. This one's kind of cool. I could swear there's a few more like anime movies I liked. My buddy, I've got a buddy that loves this one, and this one was a little interesting. It wasn't exactly my cup of tea. Those are like the only anime that I've seen that would rate above a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'm not a fan of JoJo's. Have not seen Gurren Lagann, but the style is obviously there. I know like Trigger, they're a big deal, and you can see why. But I could go into a whole thesis about why I hate anime besides not liking, you know, what they're all about, or like, you know, the way they speak and all that, and how they don't reflect real life typically. I'm kind of saving that. I guess I can do that rant and then do it later, because it's one I've been building up. I want to unleash it in a way that's like kind of just like hit so many people. All the others' friends had to make me watch them, and it was never above 7 out of 10. Man, that's brutal too, because you watch stuff with friends, and you don't. There's always a thing, because this is my life. You know, I'm not a contrarian in the way that I go out of my way to be, but just people like shit that I don't like, and then, you know, you watch stuff with friends, and you have to sit there and be like, I hate to tell you, I'm not enjoying this, or, you know, or if you're, which I wouldn't recommend this, is to just like sit there and tank it and be like, this is alright, but I definitely would rather be honest somehow. But hopefully if you're good friends, you can both be like, yeah, you know, even if you didn't enjoy it, it's fine that you like it. I had fun watching something, which is kind of true. Sometimes I just like watching anything. But I also love to talk shit about this thing I'm watching with my friends. That weird moment where you didn't enjoy something half as much as them. Yeah, yeah, that's my whole life, is what I'm saying. But I've been able to establish like a pretty satisfying distance from some of my friends, as far as, you know, when it was in like, when everyone was in college and stuff and we were always hanging out all the time, everyone had to be putting something on. But tastes are gonna clash, so the vibes are not always 100%, but now we're adults and we can visit each other and stuff in ways that are structured. It's like, it's more conducive to, you know, us not having to think about the parts of our lives where we don't mesh well, but it feels nice. I'm more of a cartoon guy, so it deals when we watch an anime, which cartoon after. But you've got to tell me which cartoons, because this is huge. I was always on Cartoon Network. Cartoons are huge for me. It's one of my Uh, been one of my potential dreams is to have a cartoon. If I were to ever like hit a button that's like you get to have this dream come true, and then I've always wanted to have a arcade, always wanted to have a cartoon. Those are probably among the top two. The I was always on Cartoon Network, not much on Nickelodeon or Disney as a kid, but I was tuning in to Cartoon Network every day, and I would just get way too into like the production and stuff, or just like the scheduling and all that. But then Adventure Time, I would say Adventure Time changed my life for sure. And as soon as the commercial came on, I don't know why, I was just enamored with the style and everything. Uh, and then as it went on, it was developing, and then it was actually like artsy and it was interesting. Uh, uh, and I would get all the DVDs and listen to the commentaries. So what was the thing? Avatar, Steven Universe, Ben 10, Gravity Falls, Regenerator Rex. I might have to call you out. It's just Generator Rex. Gotcha. There's no re in there, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. And that places the age I can expect around it too. Ones I made them watch so far. Adventure Time is a current project. Yeah. Last Airbender, I was like these days surprised. Something about it I don't enjoy as much as an adult. Obviously, as a kid, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Uh, the foundation of why, yeah, I feel that. Steven Universe is one where I didn't like how it ended up. You should know there's no I never saw Generator Rex, by the way. Well, I saw commercials, but the style, something about it was getting to me. But Steven Universe, I didn't like as much how it ended up. I respect it a lot for being something that's like, maybe it's a French thing. That would be funny. I respect Steven Universe a lot for being a show that was like giving like melodrama to kids, or like it wasn't afraid to have characters cry or show emotions like in a very dramatic sense. Like and you didn't see that on TV almost ever, like from a cartoon, and it kept doing that. So I'd give that to it. I did not like how it ended up, especially like especially like the first few seasons I enjoyed. I can't even enjoy anymore because it's like I go and watch them. I was like, well, I was enjoying part of this, kind of going like, okay, where is this gonna lead? And then now that I don't like where it leads, I can't even go back. That was what I was gonna say about Generator Rex 2. Ben 10 I always thought was mid. But the funny thing about Ben 10, I think it had I think Ben 10 was like a record for like most money it made Cartoon Network, or like most iterations or something, because it had a shitload of like, you know, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien. It had the movies. It had like a live action movie. Steven Universe, you got to put them in front of it at 10 years old, and then only one season per year, so they grow up with the show's subject. That's what happened. I was literally Finn the Human's age. I was born in 97, and the show came out when I was 13, and Finn aged at the same time as me, which I always thought was really cool. Steven Universe, though, if you start them at 10, I guess I don't know when Steven aged, but if you want to really put them what through we went through, you just make them wait like 4 years between each season, right? Whereas like the first couple seasons, they come out in the first couple years, and then you do that stupid Steven bomb. Yeah. Wasn't Steven Universe the one that started the whole bomb programming, where, you know, shows used to be like a new episode a week, and then Steven Universe, they couldn't keep up with that or something, and then they would drop like nothing for months, and then do like 5 episodes in a bomb, and then nothing for another couple months or whatever, or like they would do a couple bombs and then nothing, and it was just like something about that just kills like the experience of a show in a lot of ways, you know? Or like that was even where streaming got huge, and then streaming, you know, the binging and stuff. Shows just don't releasing a season at a time. There's something about it that's just kind of, the magic is gone. But maybe that's just me holding on to, like, you know, my peculiarities. Ben 10 original was peak. Alien Force and Ultimate Alien were mad, but Omniverse is amazing. Steven is 13 from season 1 to like 3, and then 14 in Future where he was 16. Yeah, so he definitely, because the show took way longer than that, at least in my head, to get to that point. So I think you're right, because, or, no. I don't remember. You could definitely get it done to have them age at the same time. Dang, I totally, because it's brutal losing your thoughts. Like I was saying earlier, I hate the concept of dead air. I just want to not stop. But yeah, the Ben 10 was never a huge appeal to me. I watched a couple episodes here and there. Even though I have an Omnitrix on the back of my van because I was getting decals, and I always kind of liked the design of an Omnitrix, so I slapped it on the back of my van. But then yeah, maybe there's people who think I'm a bigger Ben 10 fan than I am. I threw a bunch of stuff on my van that I'm not actually into, but I just kind of wanted a decal. Yes, let's go. Yeah, Steven was some random bomb. They also got a lot of issues. They're the one who made the break for LGBT subject to go in cartoon. They made a lesbian marriage in the last season, so they were canceled at Squish 1 season and a half into 6 episodes. Yeah, they were definitely always kind of pushing the envelope, and that's again one of the things I really respect is being able to. That was one thing Adventure Time kind of did. Steven Universe was heavy into that. You know what many people would call woke or whatever, but it's just like, you know, they're just trying to convey what they think about life, I think. So I respect it. 35 more cards in here. What else do I have on my van? I threw one that I just thought was funny. It was a little one. It was like I wonder if it's on the internet. I bet you it would be. Unless this is, yeah. It was like this, but it was like carved out in this shape. But that one faded, unfortunately, and it like fell off, or it didn't fell off, but it just kind of eroded to the environment. Because a lot of my decals were built for the, you know, actually being decals. That one was just a sticker, so it was no good. But the Omnitrix is a proper decal. It's still there. And then I have a BMO decal. And then just a couple brands of stuff for tools I bought to work on my car. They came with like decals, and I just kind of slapped them on because I just kind of wanted more stuff on there. Or my buddy, my buddy joined the Navy, so I have he gave me the decal that says I'm a proud parent of a Navy, like a sailor or someone who's in the Navy. And then I had coworkers, and they were like, "You have a kid in the Navy?" I was like, you forgot a lot about me or my vibes. I guess that's why they were so surprised. But I was like, I don't have a kid or have sex, or I'm not that old. There's so many reasons I don't have a child in the Navy, but so that was a fun one to have. Both watched by our beloved Rebecca Sugar, who made Simon and Marcy songs a part of the story. Oh, believe me, I know, brother. I was watching all the commentary and everything. So yeah, Rebecca Sugar. Even before Steven Universe came out, I was big into the her work. Natasha Allegri, who did Bee and Puppy Cat, I was into. I loved the pilot for Bee and Puppy Cat. The way the actual project turned out was, again, disappointing. But I like a lot of Natasha Allegri's art and stuff. Haven't looked at it in a while, but I used to look at it on it wasn't Tumblr, but it was somewhere. I guess it might have been Twitter or something. But I never had a Twitter, but I would always see the art somehow. I got it somewhere. I used to go to the Frederator blogs and stuff, mostly for the Adventure Time content. But, you are so peaked to talk to? That's what I want. That is brilliant to hear. If we can keep that up, see, that's the thing, and spread the little knowledge here and there. This guy's, I need to yap, because that's what I look for in streams. I'm big in chat engagement. One of my like little, I don't know if people call it like a toxic trait. It's not a toxic trait, but I guess it's like it's a funny fantasy of mine, is the idea of I don't want to get too big to the point I can't literally respond to every chat, which is something I see big streamers. It's always a struggle because I hang out in some big streams, but you know, like they can't respond to everything. But I always wonder how much they would want to if it was possible to respond to everything.
だせ
That's it. But luckily I watched some people in Hololive, like Kyla and Ollie, who will respond to like any super chat. So, you know, if you just drop $2, they're almost guaranteed to read the message at some point, or immediately, or later on in a reading, and that's still pretty huge. And you know, it's like I give money to streamers here and then, where it's just kind of a tip, like I said, for maintaining my equilibrium or my vibes. I'm like, yeah, it is worth it, especially if they read. I get an embarrassing amount of like dopamine. You want to still get that feeling of community and talk with the all-time chatters. Yeah, exactly. And they're pretty good at talking to you know, like super chatters or members as well. But again, that's what I was saying earlier. There's so many streamers who just don't talk to chat or whatever, and I'm kind of wondering what the chatters are there doing. But also a big thing I'm learning a lot now too, when I'm trying to think of the concept of getting viewers, or like you look up the way people get more viewers, and a lot of people are just into the gameplay, and I don't watch gameplay on streams. To this day, I don't get streamers who don't chat me either. But I don't know what goes on in Warframe. Many used to play Warframe, and I would just have it on. A lot of streamers I watch incidentally play Warframe, and then like they're playing Arknights. I have no idea what's going on in Arknights or Arknights Enfield or so many games, because I'm just not watching the game. But I need someone that yaps, or that I can throw on and sleep to or drive to, especially. But especially if I can chat. You like Warframe? Yeah. A lot of people seem to, especially. I ended up in a lot of spaces that happened to play it. Many used to play it before they is the term hoed her. That could be one way to say it. I don't remember exactly what happened, but you know, that's pretty lame. I remember one time my League account got hacked. I used to play a lot of League. I just don't play it now just because of time and stuff. If I ever get back home and stream outside of my truck, or if I get a laptop I can do it, I might pick League back up just to yap over it. But yeah, one time my account got hacked and banned, and I was kind of pressed because I cared a lot about it, and I was like, man, a lot went into that account. So hearing about her Warframe account was pretty definitely like a damn that sucks moment to hear. But then, you know, she's playing Rivals or all that. That's the thing too. I've never touched Rivals, Overwatch. A lot of people just play those shooters. But they're pretty good at picking up chats, even at moments in the shooters that they play, which I like. But yeah, there's a lot of streamers who don't. And I don't understand the streamer, why they're streaming, or why the chatters are there trying to chat, who they're chatting for. Especially Queso. Like, some of those people, yeah, I'm lucky enough for it to never have happened to me. Yeah, getting hacked sucks. Luckily, League accepted my ticket and they gave me my account. Like, I was like, clearly, I guess they were able to see clearly this was a hack, and this guy, well, like, he got hacked. He didn't start cheating for nothing. Like, clearly the hacker was cheating. So they gave it back to me. But 7 chatters are doing chat. Oh, yeah, I went to Queso stream 1 or 2 times because I like some of his content. Queso's a funny guy, but then you go into his chat and you're like, man, just what's even the point of being here? It's the fastest moving chat. It's crazy. But they're there, and he picks up some of it, you know, depending on the situation. But otherwise, I just you know, I'm saying it's so hard to try and do this, but I'm developing a skill. Look at the card, and then keep talking. Not readable. Yeah. Queso, XQC, just it flies by. And you just kind of, I get memorized in the same way it's like Android clips and best stuff. Yeah, I'm a VOD guy for a lot of the big streamers like that, especially like I was saying for driving and stuff. Something I can put on in a controlled manner or load into a queue is definitely huge for like driving. But yeah, kind of the way like in the background you have Subway Surfers and stuff, or the way I'm kind of have all these GIFs that I've surrounding my avatar with. I want to fill up more. I want to put more GIFs on my screen, but just watching the chat fly by is mesmerizing in itself. Biggest stream I saw was Sea-Dog. I'm gonna watch him like once a month. Yeah, he's pretty big too, huh? I've never hopped into a stream of his, but people in the VTuber space are pretty familiar with Sea-Dog, typically. It's got a great voice. Welsh is interesting. All I know about Welsh, too, is there's this movie, something Mod, and it was an interesting movie because then at the end, God speaks to her and he's speaking Welsh. And you know, it's one of those things where you're not sure if it's like her hallucinating it or not. Was this really a 2019 joint? It felt a little bit later than that. Was this really pre-COVID? But God speaks to her in Welsh at the end of this. I stick to 1 to 100 viewer streamers. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Or I was gonna say earlier and forgot. Is that like I get such a huge hit of dopamine from having chat read, but it still hits just as hard when it's a small streamer somehow. Then even like as much as a big streamer almost. So then I can hang out in small chats and just get that hit every couple seconds, as you know, when they're reading the chats, and it's great. So you know, all the communities I'm in is great for that. I was gonna say, I was about to pull up the Discord on my laptop, but I closed it because it'd be slowing down my laptop. My laptop can, I'm surprised it's not crashing. I'm glad it's keeping the strength just to do this browsing and flashcards and running OBS. Because I was trying to do some other stuff, playing around with OBS offline, and then it was crashing. And I was like, oh god, please don't do that. I would like to be able to try the streaming thing out for real, but it seems to be holding its own as long as I'm literally just doing this. So yeah, I think I dare not open up YouTube, or even the Twitch website itself. I don't know if it's the Twitch website itself, but also just my laptop being bad, but yeah, right now I'm sticking to this Reddit page, some Google entries, and then this book. Oh, and like Wikipedia. I think I can help. I think the RAM is enough for that. This feels good. I can't about you, but I do enjoy talking to other chatters too, and I know most of my friends don't. Yeah, I like to talk to chatters too. It's weird too. Sometimes you're in chats where the chatters are kind of like, everyone's just talking to the streamer, and you kind of want a little bit of the community, you know? Discord is a pain in the ass for computers. Yeah, it kind of is, and I run this little third-party one called Armcord, and it seemed to help at first, and then now it just kind of like, I don't know, it's still better than the native Discord for this distro I'm running, but not by much. Discord is a little slow. I wish we could all go a little old school and have like an IRC server, like, you know, culture, because it's still out there, but everyone's on Discord now, and it's just like it's a little unoptimized, you know. I see it's pros and cons, but sometimes I'm like, I wish we could do things a little lightweight, you know. I'm a kind of a like a nerdy, old schoolier tech style. I wasn't even trying to use like this i3 window manager on my laptop, but then I was messing around with it and messed it up. So now I had to relearn how to use i3 and do things really lightweight for this fucking ThinkPad. Would be nice if we could strip Discord to the bare minimum in the options. I agree. That level of customization would be useful. Is Discord open source? It's probably not. It's proprietary, I'm sure. Because people would be doing all sorts of stuff if it was. Yeah, it's proprietary. Yeah, whatever. Of course it is. To lay your hand to rest. Oh man, this is a radio wave, an electric wave. Yeah, boy. Saying strange things. See, this is huge slang, and I don't even remember picking up on this, but I have a feeling I'm going to struggle to see people using this in the slangy meaning. So I run this daily words posts that I do in 2 Discords, and I just got to wait for the next big thing. Yeah, the next big thing will take it out. Because we were on Skype and TeamSpeak and Mumble, what's the other platform? Ventrilo. Now it's Discord. Something will take it out eventually. But anyway, I have these posts, and then these are like, I call this list maybe list because there's stuff I'm thinking about putting in the list, but I second guess because like this is the one I was talking about earlier, maybe to myself, where I couldn't find people actually using this the way the dictionary defines it, and so I just kind of scrapped that one. But I think if I go and try to see someone use denpa as saying strange things, it might be a struggle. But maybe I can put it in maybe list. Supposed to be the only identity control coming up? Oh man, tell me about it. Wait, I've already graded this card. Nagabiku. And then, like, what's with the porn, man? I remember my friend, he was stationed in, like, South Carolina or something, or he was out. Yeah, it must have been South Carolina. And then he came back to Texas to visit, where we live, and he used to live, and then he just comes up into my room, or we were just, like, eating food or whatever, and he's like, this was when they just started cracking down on the porn or whatever, and, like, most of the big sites like Pornhub were like, doing their thing of like just completely blocking it. And they were like, he was just like, "What's up with the porn?" I was like, "Yeah, there's tons of sites, man. It's no problem." But the main ones, yeah, it's like a bunch of people in a bunch of states were just suddenly like ready to go to ready to go to their routine, and they just get slapped with like a. As you know, the elected officials in your state have blah blah blah. I was like, well, I didn't know, but I know now. And then so you just go to another site that's not blocked or whatever, There's many avenues, so it's kind of all funny. The politics and philosophy around the identity. It's bad because it pushes people to less safe sites. Yeah, I see that a lot, and I pretty much agree. There's definitely a weird culture. I wish our culture on porn was definitely pulled back. It's definitely way too prevalent. It's another whole rant I'm waiting to unleash at an opportune moment, but it doesn't even have to do with the porn itself, but just like the horniness, like especially in VTubers, and it's a culture I'm kind of in right now digitally, but it's marred by horniness, and it's something I try to bring up in like a mini stream or almost any stream, because someone's playing Marvel Rivals, and their characters just got this huge ass in a bikini, and I'm like, does every game need to look like this? Genshin, Wuwa, Zenless, Arknights, Enfield, blah blah blah, and it's a whole everything's a little too horny, man. I think instead of putting laws to lock and being identity locked, they should put a threat to the parents so they do their jobs. Dude, like with the teaching or like education stuff going on these days, or like iPad parenting and whatever, there needs to be some accountability for parents. It's crazy because it's like we're all kind of just falling into this technology, but then they're like, oh, this is how the kids are acting in school, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like parents are kind of fucking up right now. But maybe I'm being paranoid, because I did talk to a few people who are saying like it's fine, but I guess I'm scared of things that it does me no good to be scared about, because I can't really change, but everything's kind of getting pushed into ways I don't really like with AI and stuff. Nah, man, they are. Yeah, like, I hate AI so much, and I can't stop the companies from, like, pushing it. The only thing I could do is get into streaming and then become a influencer. I hate that word, but if I could use some influence to push good into this world. I still have 22 due items. And then, convince someone out there that a lot of things are terrible. But, we all know that anyway. So it feels kind of pointless. Kishoku. I'm gonna write that one down. Ugh. Mondai. I saw, one of my best friends saw it get too bad. He took it into his own hands, the raising of his little sister, because his parents were just putting it on the computer to be at peace. Yeah, and I think I see that I see it as so fucked up to do that. To raising a human being. And, there's people who leave their kids and stuff, and it is a tragedy. So how are we doing? This guy's an asshole. I was gonna ban him, but I need viewers. No, this Axcos has been keeping me very well sated with the banter for sure. We've been keeping it going. Kishoku. Oh, there's a different word. That's the one I want. One thing I found interesting, I saw I hate him. Exactly. What was that? I saw a couple like streamers who do this kind of thing of just like the flashcards and stuff. And they had like a, for me, what would be a huge amount. Well, I guess the views was at like 86. I don't know how many live viewers they had, but don't even go to ref and he has shitty takes. It's crazy too. No, I was like one of the first chatters I'm talking to is like was on Cartoon Network like I am, and is like talking about Adventure Time and Steven Universe and stuff. I'm like, oh, we are like besties immediately. Oh, my I dropped my phone and pinned a message. Nah, man, they are unpinned. Manually unpinned or end stream. Let's manually unpin. I'm learning so much about streaming. Delete this message. No, unpin it. Unpin it. There we go. I was about to delete a innocent message. Unpin me right now. Okay. Let's pin something. How are we doing? What? WB Mini. I want to pin something just for fun now. Use my powers of moderation. LMFAO. Just gonna wait for the next big thing. So let's pin it. Let's pin LMAO. There you go. You're pinned again. And you can't do anything about it. Probably have 20 more cards. This is a fun word. Yamaari Taniari. There's ups and downs. I wonder if I've done that one. Oh, I have to check the Discord on my phone if I want to check. Nah. Hatan. Suidio? Mizujo? Oh, it was Suidio. Nannimo naranai. This is like scenery. Seifuku. Haikei. Backdrop. That one was a daily. I've written that one down in detail and then forgot how to read it. Tagaru. Luckily, there's no one here who knows, so it's less embarrassing if I can't read the words I'm supposed to read. Mau. I'm just dying for the one day where a Japanese person ever comes in and is like, oh, shabemasu ka? Nihongo dekimasu ka? I'm gonna be like, no, not really. Or if I try and speak and be like, chotto, yomeru, to tama, it's gonna be brutal. Shigemi. Because then even when I come in and try and do it through text with people or something, I'm like, I still try and... I take the perfectionist mindset when it comes to the sentences and stuff, or like trying to come up with the perfect structure or whatever. Just need to send it. I wish I had a native who I could just say the wrong thing, but have them instantly be like, oh, it should be this. That would be huge. But in the teaching streams I'm in and stuff, it's like the chat's kind of delayed, or they have too many people, so it's like, it's not the best, one-on-one environment. Maybe I could get into like italki or something. Taiso. Oh, this is like support or streaming in advance. We're in that weird era in which all those things, internet parenting and modern content access, are not watched over correctly, and we gotta make the huge mistakes working on the roles for all that shit. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was just like, and this is what everyone's going through. It's like, as a teen, just like seeing beheadings and stuff on the internet, and you're like your parents have no idea what you're doing, and there's like, once you have a device, there's nothing they can do about it, and you're like, well, this isn't how I spent my formative years. Good luck. It really is like unprecedented in many ways, but I guess the optimist is like, there's always things that are changing, but then the more things change, the more things stay the same, so humanity will prevail somehow. Or if it doesn't, there's no point in worrying about it. So, like cars, it took 6 years of cars with seatbelt to be a must-have. I know, right? My mom talks about that. It was like your parent, when you encountered a stop or something, they would just put their hands over you. There was no seatbelt. Everything was just like a bench seat. Like, it took a long time for people to be like, this is incredibly dangerous. Some people still like have this weird thing where they try and refuse to wear a seatbelt for no reason, and it's like, okay, cool, kid, were you gonna not wear a seatbelt? And you have to try and like educate them, but you sound like a narc. But you're like, it's like the problem is it's not just your own safety if we're riding and you don't have a seatbelt, because in the event of a crash, you become a human projectile. Like, you're flying around and hitting other people. That's a big problem of not having seatbelts. But people are like, oh, it's my own safety. It's not just your own safety. There's no such thing as driving and it being your own safety. You're with other cars on the road. We have to do everything for each other. But I gotta get somewhere faster. Fuck you. This is one I know what it is. It's just a tongue twister for me, man. Yane Urabia. Yane Urabia. It's hard to read. Humanity reached 100 kilometers an hour, 62. I could have done that conversion. Actually, is it 0.62? I thought it was just 0.6. I guess I learned the simplified conversion. I thought it was just 0.6. This would be huge, because I've always done 0.6. Oh, wait. No, it assumed meter. I wanted mile. I'm an American. Oh my gosh, it is 0.62. I learned the simplified approximation. Well, how about that? The only one I still struggle, because I can do Fahrenheit to Celsius in my head pretty quickly. Kilometers to miles, kind of a freebie, and then pounds to kilos I can do because it's 2.2. But then the one I always struggle to remember for some reason is like someone over elsewhere in the world is like I'm 153 centimeters, and I'm like, okay, that's like 5'1", but like I can never quite get it right. So let me input a number like 158. That's that many miles. Nice. Because it's like, what did I want? Or maybe I should just do this way. Because it's like I would do it by 30s, but once you get up into the 5 or 6 foot range where people actually like measure, then this 0.48 starts to make a difference, and I'm always off by a couple inches. So yeah, it's like, to me, it's like you should be 6 foot, but I know it's going to be off 5.9. But then it always messes with your head because it's not, because it's not metric. I always want to say this is like, your brain wants to say this is 9 inches, but it's not 9 inches. You have to do like 9 times 1.2, because 12 inches is the, it's 90% of 12. So you got to do, it's like 10.8 inches. Oh. 70.8. So it's 5, yeah, 10.8. But in my head, if you say you're 180 cm, I'm like, oh, he's 6 foot, but you're an inch, you're 1.2 inches short of it. Life as a what's the meme? Life as everyone under 6 foot something. There's so many memes about being short. It's funny. People do care a lot about it for some reason. I still don't get. What am I in centimeters? What should I tell my overseas friends? 'Cause I'm like 5'6", 5'6.5", so that's 165, 166. Okay, I'm 166 centimeters. I need to remember that. Sex space. Oh, this is my first, I get to allow a chat. I've always wondered what that looks like from the streamer's perspective. I need to find a way for it to allow more stuff, because I really do not give a fuck what you type, unless it's like, preferably not slurs, but I'm sure the automod wouldn't even let me have those, no matter what I put as a setting. But, we can pin that. Yeah, like sometimes AutoMod just kind of gets you from random stuff, man. Or like, especially, man, YouTube deletes comments for reasons I cannot figure out, and it makes it really annoying to have a conversation, because like, it'll be for a reason I can try and figure out, but like, you have to censor stuff in such weird ways just to talk to another human being. See, this will be great if someone comes in, and then it's like, dude, it's engagement bait. Someone's gonna come in and be like, "What's with the pinned comment?" And then it'll be like, "Oh, there's nothing to it. Just I wanted to pin a comment that said foot fetish ass sizes." Let me choose what I want in my comments. Yeah, because you're trying to talk to another one, even if, yeah, presumably an adult, but I guess if you don't know, they could be young, but, you know, another human being about something serious, and then it's interpreting what you're saying as like you're saying a swear word or something, it's like, just nuke the whole comment. It's like, fuck off, YouTube. Oh, but comments are such a bad way to engage in discourse anyway. I don't seem to get much done, but I'm addicted. I'm addicted to typing, starting shit in YouTube comments, man. It's a form of banter that is probably not healthy, but I love it. Because you know, I never get angry about it. Which is what makes it fun. It's like when I play League, oh man. That's when I think, I want to just like play League and farm, like, because you don't even have to actually troll to just like see people get mad. You can just be playing the game and people are, and then I like, no skin off my nose, but you just get to read and laugh at chat in League as you, you know, getting angry is too much of an effort to be worth it. Yeah, man. I hope to be mostly past my angry arc, but admittedly, sometimes in trucking, I kind of got to get out of the job for multiple reasons, but there have been times where, and traffic is the job, but some days with traffic, like the other day, I had to pass, fucking hell, like Nashville and then Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, man. I wasted so many hours just trying to get, and then you get through the city and you think you're done, but the traffic just keeps going. Same thing happens in Houston all the time, and there have been times where I just kind of, like, I slapped the dash a couple times and started yelling. Dude, and they have these cameras. Got out of Angry Arc at 17, I got lucky, it only lasted 2 years. Took me a little longer to really get out of, like, petty, angry stuff. I guess, you know, I still experienced the full range of human emotions, but definitely, for a little bit, it was not admirable. But in the trucks nowadays, a lot of people have this front-facing camera, like the cameras that can see you and as you're driving in the cab and everything. And a lot of them implement some AI to. For some people, it's really bad. They'll be like, "Oh, you looked away for half a second, like that's a ding, or like that'll get notified, or you took a sip of water or a bite of some food, or you did something, you were distracted, or one thing that I've heard people get dinged on, which this is insane. Is like getting like you can get dinged for swearing or getting mad in your truck, and I'm like, yeah, if they were ever controlling me to that extent, I would insta quit, because that's insane. Like, you can't get mad, or like you can't swear. And I mean, I can understand, like, if you were looking at it from an outsider's perspective, like someone just like suddenly yelling at the top of their lungs, like, fuck, or like, you know, at someone else on the road. I've never yelled at someone else on the road, just as like the situation I am at in life, just being generally unhappy. But a lot of people do yell at others on the road, which I still think is kind of like, to some extent, it's kind of your God-given right to yell at someone who does something really stupid on the road, even though, as a trucker, like, especially, you see people on the social media and stuff as truckers, or a lot of people who get into it, or I talk to, who get, like, mad on the road, and I'm like, bro, like, my brother in Christ, you made this your job. You thought you weren't going to be dealing with dumbasses on the road, and then, but what planet did you grow up on, you know? You had to kind of think that one through, eh? Can't say what I want alone in my truck, now I'm gone. Yeah, that would be bad. I mean, I still have the camera, but the AI apparently seems really toned down, because I definitely do some stuff that they would not approve of at all, but don't get any calls. But I have gotten calls before where they were like, yeah, we got you rolling a stop sign, just make sure you're not doing that at any situation. So now I stop at literally every stop sign, which, frankly, you know, you may not want to have someone who's supposed to be a professional driver tell you, but I'm like, if it's 3 a.m. and I'm leaving a truck stop in a town with a triple-digit population, and I can see 1 mile in both directions that there's no one there, it's like, I'm rolling the stop. I'm not doing the full stop. I'm sorry. It seems a little silly. It seems like I'm wasting that bit of fuel to fully stop and then get back going up again. But apparently no, like the camera sees it, and I'll get a call from safety. So no, I stop at every stop sign. Because some stop signs are a little dumb, you know? We had the stop sign back in my hometown that they finally actually changed the road for, but it was a stop sign like behind this grocery store, H-E-B, where the road curves and it's the only way you can go. But it has a stop sign, but there's literally no cross traffic. It's there was nothing. So, you know, sometimes we just run it because you're like, there was nothing to stop for, but there was a sign. But you know, if I were to do that in my truck, they could beat me. And there would be literally no hazard from running it. But they also they got me one, or they didn't get me on anything, but I was in the safety department at the terminal, and they didn't call me for it, but I was in there because you have to get cleared by safety, and then someone showed me their screen, and they were like, yeah, it's my job to look at all the cameras and stuff, and I was just wondering if you have a habit of stopping on the side of the highway, and they had like this little video of my truck being parked on there, and I was like, no, that was a bathroom emergency, which was the truth, by the way. But it's a little funny to have to tell another person that. It's basically like, yeah, I was gonna shit myself, and I had to, like, you know, shit in a bag or whatever on the side of the road. But thanks for having to make sure that I'm not just unsafely parking on the side of the road. But now I had to tell another, you know, fellow person that. They also, the funny thing about that is they kind of promised you, or they promised us in like the orientation and stuff, that the way the system works is like, if it picks up something that it deems to be a safety issue, do I want it to be on the sit next time? Man, I had to shit. Do I want it to be on the seat? Yeah, exactly. And I could go on for hours about the lifestyle, or like the ability in trucking of being able to stop and do things like use a restroom or eat. But luckily that's rarely ever had to be something I've had to do, but it has had to be done. Most truckers will tell you that if they've been doing it for a long enough time. It's not pleasant, but they tell you the camera, if it picks up something that it deems as an issue, it gets sent to like some police force or something out in some other city. Like the company doesn't even see it, but if a human reviews it, then it gets sent back to our company for them to review. But then, yeah, you just get a call about some random shit, or like they show you a screen of a bunch of cameras, and you're like, no, you motherfuckers are watching us all the time if you damn well feel like it. Like, it seems like legally I could probably come down on them, but, you know, I don't know if I have that within my wherewithal to do. But it's sometimes a concern. Tokyo-cho. 6 new items. Technically, if I don't hurry, or actually, I don't know what time zone this website considers midnight. For me, it's almost midnight, but I was supposed to have done new cards, but, you know, doing the reviews is the fundamental grind. I don't always get new cards going. Maybe not worth it. Yeah, or let's like unionize. The state of trucking is crazy, and I mean, I'm new to it, but I kind of want to get out for reasons. Mostly loneliness is the biggest reason. 5 a.m. here, so let me see. Your UTC -1. What time? The thing about I hate daylight savings time so much, but the biggest thing is I always forget. I can never remember to tell someone if I'm UTC -6 or 5. What UTC am I? Because, yeah, you said you were French and then learning English and a bit of German, which I think in my head, the way time zones work, would check out. Your UTC, you're right on it. You should be +0. You're right on the line, I believe. But I can never even remember it. Yeah, so we're in standard, and then during daylight savings time is when it goes forward. So it's like the summer. I hate daylight savings time so much, but yeah, I can never remember which like offset to tell someone online. You know, like some Russian guy, he's like, I'm UTC like +7 or something. I'm like, I'm -5 or 6 or 7 or whatever, especially because I'm all over the country at any given moment. But even being at home, it was a little bit annoying. And then watching, you know, you watch a VTuber in Japan, and then a VTuber in Indonesia, and you're like, okay, that person's +9, that person's +7, 6, 7. That person's Australian, so they live basically in the future. They're like a week ahead of us. Shoukibo. They get everything before us, those Australians. Why didn't they warn us about the future? Eikyo Yobos. This one is funny because it's like Oh, your boss. Eikyo, your boss.
影響を及ぼす。
He has to hold that
彼
for
は
so
彼の
long.
周りの人々に
Hopefully no one will ever go back and hear me summoning the 6-7 curse. I don't think I've ever said that out loud until now. But it's like I wanted to read it out, you know? Kaiko Ichiban.
開口一番
It's hard to read, man. Utagai bukai.
疑い
Basserareru.
罰せられる
Good job. You finished all of your due cards. Pog. 6-7. 6-7. 6-7. 6-7. I just work a night job so I can around my American friends. That's pretty thoughtful, I guess. Get a lot of American friends online. I feel that though, because I'm in some Indonesian communities, and it's like the worst. It's so backwards. Well, sometimes it works out because then I'm getting up and need something to put on for a drive, and it's evening for them, so that they can go. But it's usually too late for Indonesians when I need the streams the most. It's like 1 or 2 a.m. for them, and then I'm like, why the fuck are you streaming right now? Should go to sleep. I'm starting to get words in my sentences. I'm usually pretty good about filling that stuff in. Hopefully. I do need to consider when I end stream. I think I said on my little schedule that no one on the planet even saw that I was going to do 1.5 hours, which is when I'm at. But I would love to keep going. I do need to sleep technically, but then if I log off, I'm probably not going to actually sleep, but I actually do need to. It's a struggle, man. The most childish struggle of streaming is being an adult. Oh. I bet you are. Man, go sleep, you drive. Yeah, I do, because I was off for the weekend, or like I didn't have a load assignment, but I do pick up in the morning, and then it's back on it, because then it's a pretty ridiculous. I might have to tell them an ETA update right off the bat. And you finished your cards. Yeah, I did. Which is the main goal. And then now, thankfully, trust me, when I was doing the first 2 streams, literally just by myself, like, I would finish the cards, or I had a bunch stacked up. That was the thing. If I had this many, I would have just finished the cards and then attempted to just keep it going, which I'm finding to be very difficult by myself. Having you here made it a freebie. It's crazy how much that flew by. But, yeah, I had like 200 plus cards stacked up because I was busy with other stuff, but also kind of letting them stack up for the purposes of streaming. But I'm figuring out if I can banter about stuff in between all the cards, then it can really extend that. So I don't need to stack up so many. But then, there was something else I was forgetting to say. But it had something to do with scheduling. Oh yeah, like if there's times I'm typically not driving, but if I want to try and consistently stream, having one after to make the time. See, I'm reading what you're saying, but then trying to get it out of my mouth is like not really working. I'm like mumbling as I read, which I should probably not do as a streamer. Having one active chatter can make the time goes by so fast. It did, but I gotta ask you, Laura. Let me know if a schedule. I know schedules are supposed to be important, or if I should post the schedule and keep the... I guess I'll just try and post the schedule, but then maybe take them off if it doesn't work. Because the thing about the trucking is... it's like, it always depends what load I'm getting, like which city I have to be in at which time. It can change my schedule pretty drastically. Like, it's not too common that I have to get up at like 2, 3 a.m. to drive, but it does happen. But usually... I'm getting up pretty early, doing stuff throughout, and then I'm parked by like 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. So I might try and schedule streams on most days at like 10 p.m. to like 11:30 midnight. Post it if you want, but I would manually say it, but in your titles or Twitch description, I would manually say. Yeah, and that's the thing, it's like... So I've got you here, who may or may not hopefully stick around for future streams, but... the whole thing of like posting the schedule and stuff, it's like, I'm like, who am I even doing this for? Like, I stream these days at those hours. Yeah, And I technically made a Discord that no one's on, which makes sense, but I don't know if I need to start pushing that more, or being like, hey guys, if you followed me, also do this. Well, that's the thing, I usually stream these. I haven't figured out what days I feel like streaming, because this is my 3rd stream, and I started 2 days ago. Or is it 3 days at this point? So I'm gonna have to feel how the vibes feel of doing it like every day or every other day, or after a long day of trucking, because I haven't had to do it after trucking yet. I did the first stream after being able to park, and I had the mental stability of knowing I didn't have to drive for like 2 days over the weekend, so that was pretty huge. I don't know if after I start, kind of getting the stresses back a little bit, having to be like, fuck this, I'm just gonna jerk off and go to sleep. That might be what happens. I don't know. The link to Discord. Just get the info there and prepare a pinned message you pin at the start of each stream. Yeah, the whole like networking aspect, or like the Discord. Yeah, I gotta set that up with like Streamlabs or something. There's a whole lot of stuff you see my to-do list in the corner there, finished PNGs. I guess I'll add to the to-do list. Maybe. Where is it? Slide it up a bit. I was avoiding the top of the banner just because of the colors. But let's say Streamlabs chat link / social media presence. Oh, it's too long. But yeah, doing some of the more work, just don't overdo it, clear and easy info. Yeah, some streams you hop in and there's like every 2 seconds there's a bot going like, check out my merch, here's the Discord link, here's this, oh, ads are starting soon, blah blah blah, and it's like half of it. Or like some of the ones that it's like you think that's the streamer means well, but there's like a translator because it's like they're Japanese or whatever, or German, and then just links. This is mostly for my own purposes. But yeah, actually you're right. Links makes more sense too, because it's more general, because it's not just Streamlabs. But establishing like a social media presence and stuff is something I kind of have to do if I want to keep this up, or get any growth. But it's something it's so much not my style to be like even just like posting my little self promos. I was like, I feel like I'm intruding, but I'm gonna do it, and then I kind of have to. But yeah, if you want, you can join my Discord, which I think is in my about page. I'm gonna have to do it from my phone. Let me go here. How do I link it? Goodness gracious. Wait, how do I actually link it? Oh, I think I know how. Link copy. Go back to Twitch. Stream manager. See, no, that's what I'm telling you. I see you put the exclamation point Discord. I don't have that set up yet. But it's also in my about page on the Twitch, which is a beautiful about page. It's got a picture of the gecko I'm modeled after, Nephurus levis, or I will be modeled after. Right now my sketch can hardly be called a model. It resembles a gecko, but it's just a sketch. 100% switch, let's go. I always liked this little Discord animation. That's my favorite one. Our good boy. Okay, yeah. I will force myself to head out. Really, thank you so much for being here. It was huge. And it helps push me more into being like, yeah, this could be a thing that I'm doing for sure. So I'll tune up that Discord at some point and then set up my stream to actually be able to post links and and then I'll figure out when I want to hop back on, which should be soon, within a few days, or even tomorrow. But again, I'm gonna be starting work back up, so we'll see. Sleep on, thanks for streaming. Yep, sleep on, thanks for being here. All right, I'm gonna hit the button. Cheers, y'all.